I knew that and I had it on my phone. So thanks very much.
You're welcome. Hello, Nancy.
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am well, thank
Thanks
you.
very much. My husband couldn't come pick me up today because he's babysitting.
Ah,
So I had to find another ride, and this was the easiest.
and that's where I come in.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be of service, dear.
Thanks very much.
I have two things to say at the outset. The black rims suits you really well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Well
Thank
done
you.
on
The
that.
kids were saying the same thing today.
Oh, were they? Are they new
Yes, they
for
are.
you? Okay. Okay. Well, this is how I'm meeting you, so that this is my normal for you now.
Thank you.
Secondly, I wanted you to know, Nancy, I do something unusual in my Ubers. I sing in tandem with my riders opera. I'm
No, are you
kidding.
serious?
I'm kidding.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Not
no.
gonna happen today.
Especially at the end of the day, right?
Yes. Oh my God, I was very glad to get out.
I
It
believe
was a
you.
long day.
I know, but in all seriousness, I do a live streaming in my Uber, which is a bit unusual.
Oh.
So just careful what you share along the way, so it's not too personal in a way that you didn't
Okay.
intend.
I won't say anything.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'll be careful what I was gonna say.
Excellent, excellent.
I know it's really hard to get out of here.
It is
Sometimes there's some nice people that will wait.
who's sneaking away. I'm guessing you teach here.
I am. I'm a guest teacher. I am in for someone till Christmas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
it
kind
is.
of like a substitute.
That's exactly what I am.
I see. I like guest teacher though. That's a
Guest teacher, I am.
Yeah.
Because on my card it says sub teacher and it should say guest.
guest teacher.
The name changed a few years ago. Rather than substitute, it's guest,
Guys,
which is nicer than
substitute.
I'm a sub.
Yeah.
it's okay.
Actually, now that you're right about that. Substitute just has you're displacing
Yes,
someone else, right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Different.
whereas guest is more hospitable in its sound.
It is absolutely
Yeah.
definitely more hospitable.
Indeed. As I was watching the students coming out, I
Yeah.
was trying to remember when this was my experience once upon a time, decades ago. I was like, man, this is
Yeah. Things have changed though.
I imagine so.
Twofold.
I imagine so. I don't know if, well, that's what I was thinking is, where would I find myself socially if I were amongst
Yeah.
these as my
I don't
peers?
know. I mean, I've been in a few high schools. Actually, I'm quite surprised how lovely my students are that
Yes.
I've taken over for.
Yeah,
Really, really nice kids.
yeah,
Which is nice for me because I hate to be the disciplinarian
right.
and then, you know,
Yeah,
so they're really nice kids.
that's
I have to
fantastic.
say.
I've worked with kids for decades, and so someone asked me once which age category I really resonated with,
Mhm.
age category wise, and I said there's two groups.
Yeah.
One was the really young ones, like the preschoolers / kindergartners.
Right.
Working with them has taught me how to almost how to remember to be a kid
Right.
in grown up, like to work with that age
Yeah.
group. I found the best way is to like convince them that you are a bigger, goofier person than they are.
Right.
And then you can
Yeah.
do so much with them. But
True.
secondly, it was the teens. The teens for me were also challenging, but also rewarding because
Yeah, I agree. Agreed.
the way to earn trust with them so that
Yeah.
you can actually engage in a way where they take you seriously
Oh yeah.
was
Agreed.
so enriching, you know. And in my estimation, I almost would consider them as baby adults. Baby adults because they're already growing into their personality, their desire for independence.
Yeah.
They've got keen insights, I would argue, you know, into the world around them. And so yeah, I very much. I mean, every once in a while I would get a vehicle full of teenagers in my Uber here, and it's always a fun time, you know. Like,
Hopefully they're well behaved.
well, they are, but I also wonder if there isn't some way that they desire to be perceived and taken seriously, which maybe,
True.
in my observation, they may not get taken as seriously as often as they'd like to be taken seriously, you know, for the contributions they bring to the table, and so no, it's always I would say, yeah, a very happy experience for sure. And it also helps when you have a gift to be able to express that desire, and when it's met on their end too, right?
Yeah. And also you need to relate to them. In order to have a relationship with them, you need to
Absolutely.
relate to them.
Absolutely. Their
Or
ability to like,
engage.
yeah, their ability to see through,
Yeah.
um, how can I say, pseudo interest
Yeah.
is high.
As I said, the classes that I have,
Yeah.
goodbye, and they'll say goodbye, miss, have a good night, thank
How sweet.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
Uh,
Some do, some don't.
yeah.
It depends. Some have a lot of manners, and some have none.
Sure enough. And therein is also the challenge of seeing them in the setting that they are in, right? Like not just the individual moment there, but so much more before and after that, I suppose.
Exactly.
How long have you taught for?
Oh God, 44 years.
Only 44 years.
Only, yeah.
Only the entire span of my existence.
Yeah, I know. I was 22 when I started teaching.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
my first 18 years of my career was spent in the Northeast.
Okay, like
Great.
here in Calgary.
Yeah, great experiences. I would not come out here now because
Yes.
there's just so much traffic.
Uh-huh.
But I have to say that the kids are most polite.
Yeah.
Very polite.
That's really neat to hear.
Yeah, so it's nice because then I don't have to. It's not a struggle.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like they're getting their work done, handing stuff, and it's like okay.
In your estimation, I guess I should frame my question first. It seems to me that most societally are intimidated or uncomfortable, uncertain around teenagers. What do you think are the factors that contribute to that apprehension when interacting with teens?
I don't know. Maybe sometimes adults are afraid of them, or
Yeah.
because they have a misconceived,
Yeah, perceptions.
perception,
Yeah.
notion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I know because like my 3 kids are approaching teen years now. And
lucky you.
I know. But here's the thing, I've had like lots of experience, so I'm excited about that prospect, but I know typically
Yeah.
most are sort of bracing and wincing and hearing about the terrible teens, for example, right? And they're preparing for like combative, acrimonious engagement,
It depends.
Yeah.
It absolutely depends. Sometimes
Yeah.
girls are
Yeah.
more so than boys.
Right.
But it depends.
And I've often been curious about that aspect too. I've often wondered which one seems to be more challenging, teen girls or teen boys?
God, that's a tough one.
depends,
I mean,
isn't it?
I
Yeah.
raised a teen daughter, and
Yeah.
there were times where it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's always some kind of drama,
Sure.
with
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes a group of boys is fine. Girls, boy, it's just drama, and sometimes they're really mean.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
Yeah,
I've
very
heard
mean,
that
mean
too.
to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I heard some of them are nasty.
Yeah. I picked up a teen recently from his high school, and as I was picking him up, right beside a police squad car,
Right,
and he was helping me understand the new dynamic that wasn't in our generation,
right.
whereby they have, I think what they call is a community officer
Yeah.
that's assigned to schools
Yeah,
now.
the high schools all have an officer.
They all have an officer, so that's something that I
That
don't
just
remember.
started, oh my gosh, I would say maybe, because I know when I started,
And red light camera in 200
I started
meters.
teaching at St. Francis
Speed
High
limit
School.
is
Yeah.
80
That's
kilometers
when
per
I started
hour.
teaching about 20
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So I think it could be about
Speed
25
and red light
years.
camera ahead.
Okay.
Speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour.
But some of them it's just their presence.
Just the presence there, and it sort of quells.
Yeah, and some of them do have a very good relationship with kids, and like sometimes the police officers go. I know the one fellow at our school, at Francis, he would go on trips with the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just for the presence. That's
Right. Right. Yeah.
and it's sometimes kids get into
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, look at that sunset.
I
Isn't
know.
that beautiful with the snow swirling here?
I know. But yeah, I think
Wow.
we were supposed to get flurries.
Is that okay? I guess this
I
is.
think so. Because on one it said it didn't say, and it's like 30% chance of, and it's like, oh, for heaven's sake. But I think it's just flurries that are flying around, so I guess
Yeah.
it's better than the actual snow. But
True enough. True enough. No, that's gorgeous though. The sun.
Yeah.
Oh my. And the trees.
it is.
Yeah, I was thinking further. That would be a neat challenge to take on the role, like a police officer has an authoritative role
Right.
societally, but to take that post in a high school amongst teens,
Right.
where you can downplay the authoritative side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still there, but to like sort of lead with the social accessibility side
True.
that says, hey, I'm going to be a safe space where
Yeah.
you can, you know,
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the group you have.
yeah.
But no, it's true. But sometimes you need to be that authoritative,
Sure enough.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine that's probably been helpful, especially for the administration, right?
Yeah.
Who usually has to deal with.
Yeah. I'm just there to do a job.
Yeah.
Just don't give me a hard time, and I won't be, because
Yeah.
I don't need a hard time. I'm only there
Yeah.
for a short period of time, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm only here to do a job.
Yeah.
Don't blame it on me.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
move on. I have to do this.
Yeah.
So, but
For sure.
so
that's-
are you an Uber driver 24/7?
They don't allow me to drive 24/7.
Oh, they won't let you? Okay.
But yes, full
Close
time.
enough.
I am. Yes. Yeah. I this is what I've committed to doing full time now. I left my teaching post to do Uber driving actually, which is a big deal
Mhm.
because I mean I really enjoy teaching. Really enjoy teaching. So I was teaching English to high schoolers, and yeah, it was.
It's not what it used to be.
Yep.
Nope. It's not an easy job.
No.
Nope. Not anymore.
When I experienced this job, I knew I'd enjoy it, but I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. And I said, golly, like, I mean, I've got these youth, these young minds that I get to spend time with, develop relationships with, invest in. But then over here, I have like the whole world, basically. Oh my goodness, what a contrast. So I've really enjoyed this opportunity as a result. And even here, I still love that I get access to interacting with young minds, you know?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet you must, you know, find a lot of different people.
I do, yes. And it's especially wonderful when it's unexpected. Oftentimes, I'll get 20-year-olds as well, too, quite a bit. And
Right.
it's in the course of our interaction
Right.
that I realize then, oh yeah, these guys think I'm like one of them, you know, the way they're engaging and relating to me.
Yeah.
And when they find out that I'm not in their generation,
Yeah.
but a few generations ahead, it's a bit of a, what? No.
Exactly.
So, but they say I have what they call young energy or something similar like that. And so I say, okay, I'll take that as long as I get, you know, to connect with you guys. And
That's always good.
the neat gift I get to experience is not only connecting with them, but also encouraging them wherever I find them, you know?
Right.
The kind of things we talk about, the experiences they share with me and so on, just to be able to say, there's a lot in front of you yet, and so the best course is keep on like plodding through, because in the process of going through the challenges that life is most certainly going to send your way is where you find your experiential growth happening, you know. And also just demystifying the future, because there seems to be a lot of pressure for so many of them saying, I gotta have this and this and this figured out. And I said, honestly, just figure you out, and that takes time.
Today, yeah, that's more important.
Yeah.
COVID did not help though.
No. So true.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
What would you say was the biggest impact of COVID that impacted society at large? One of the things I was observing is when things opened up, there was an exuberance, it seemed. You know, people just ecstatic at being able to go and just enjoy a coffee, for example, or
Yeah.
socialize.
Yeah.
So that was telling. But then that exuberance and excitement was almost tempered
Yes.
in an equal dose
Yeah.
because they were thinking, but how do I do this again?
Yeah.
And how do I connect and socialize? And my sister shared with me an interesting term that she said I don't have, but she used the term social anxiety. And I thought that was a really apt way of describing what it seems a lot of people are experiencing when they're like,
And some people have just, society's gotten nastier. Like
Yeah.
some people, they're just not nice.
yeah. I mean, our politics hasn't been a really good
Oh, dear.
example or modeling there, right?
Yeah.
So if that's if that is typical of what is happening on the ground floor,
Yeah.
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. We need some change there
Hmm.
or something.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if I'm trying to think of like what drives it though. Is it just the fear of the unknown of what's in someone else's mind? I mean, here you and I are sitting down. We've never met before.
Yeah.
We're getting along, right?
Yeah.
But there's a degree of thinking the best of this person. Here's an individual I know nothing about, but I have high expectations that
Right.
they've got good intentions, right? Maybe that's part of
But
the challenge.
sometimes, though, some people are social beings and some are not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Introverts and extroverts. You know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like they often don't have a choice in that. This is
No.
the packaging they came in,
Yeah.
and now they're making a life based on
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
That's something I'm really grateful for, even now, where it wasn't evident when I was young, is even just the different accommodation of learning styles
Right.
from individual to individual.
Oh yeah.
Whereas once upon a time it was just a one size fits all, and you
True.
sort of try to fit that mold, right?
Yeah.
And there seems to be more conversation about what mental health looks like.
That I think that's really important. I think
Yeah.
that should be talked more about.
Sure enough.
I think that's a real big one.
Do you see it happening a lot more?
Yes, but it needs to be discussed. It's not.
Discussed as in
You shouldn't be.
contrast.
I mean, like, so you're having difficult. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or
True.
something. It's that you have certain difficulties. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it should be talked about.
Yeah.
It's not like ominous or
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. So demystify it in essence.
Yes, but
I like that.
it needs to be discussed more so.
And when I hear you saying disgusting, I'm contrasting that to just being told it. Told saying, hey, we're going to teach you about this, but you're not discussing it. Saying, where's your reference point in this spectrum or this context, right? Drawing people's personal experiences out and giving them that outlet and modeling what that looks like
Yeah,
too.
and you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
if you own it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes you a better person.
Agreed.
And there's nothing wrong with you if you have, mental health issues. I mean, of course there are extremes. You know, if there's extremes, then you need help.
Further, assistance for sure.
But just because you need help doesn't make you
Less than.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's what people think.
Yeah.
You know.
I see that for sure. Yeah.
So I think that needs to be looked at more because there are some. It's like postpartum depression with women. You know.
Yeah.
That needs to be looked at more because I mean you've heard stories before where some women killed their children, their other children, and that's because they're in a
Funk.
this black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that really needs to be looked at.
Yeah. It's almost like there is no space to be able to let.
No, people do not have empathy for that.
Yeah. I agree. But just the fact that we have words to use to describe these things now, whereas once upon a time people are like, I'm not sure what's wrong with me. And it's that sense where I think so many struggles aside, like where they think
Yeah.
there's so much wrong with me and I'm so unique in my messiness that no one can relate, that drives many, including me once upon a time, towards that feeling of isolation.
Right.
So you might be amongst your peers, you might be in the midst of wonderful contexts, but you can never savor it because you're thinking less.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just because you have mental health issue, problem,
Yeah.
doesn't make you less of a person.
Right. One of the ways I like to think about this is the sense of a person's worth, their worthwhileness, how they
Yep.
feel that.
Exactly.
And one of the things I have had to learn along the way, in some painful ways, is how my accomplishments, or lack thereof, do not define my worth.
Yeah.
So here I am, for example, doing this job. I think, yeah, my reviews have been really stellar. I've been able to maintain a really high rating and good feedback. And yet, what I've had to remind myself is, while I'm doing so amazing and in this skill that I have honed, that has nothing to do with my worth. Like, it's just a signifier of, hey, I do good at this, but my worth is unattached, right?
Yep.
Because the contrast to that is when I do devastating. That's when I really felt it. Once upon a time, I said, people find me worthwhile, so I am worthwhile. Versus, people find me worthwhile, wonderful, but I already knew that. Right? Versus when people don't find me worthwhile, when I goof up or whatever, I was devastated. Whereas now it's more like, oh, that's helpful feedback. But thankfully, it never touched my initial state of starting point, saying, I'm an amazing existence, you know? Yeah. These were the things I wish I had access to once upon a time when I was younger. Did you do your schooling to become a teacher here in Calgary as
Yes.
well?
Yeah.
Amazing.
My degrees are from the UC.
So your whole career has been invested in this community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole life has been my teaching career. It has been my life. And sometimes people who are in other fields like this do not understand what that actually means. It's part of my identity. So yeah.
I know the feeling when people, after they talk to me for some time and then they find out I'm a teacher, they're like, yeah, I totally see that.
What made you leave the profession?
Teaching?
Yeah.
Uber.
Oh.
Seriously, like I was teaching
Yeah.
and then I did this part-time.
Yeah.
And when I experienced this setting here,
Yeah.
it was the kind where I said, I'm very cautious in the big life changes I make.
Yeah.
I do a lot of reflection, but this was one of the settings in which it combines so many elements that I really highly value in the kind of way I show up in my profession.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a big shift for me, to a certain,
No kidding.
yeah, like huge, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No kidding.
But I mean, I haven't looked back. Like I see that this opportunity as an Uber driver has expanded my reach, in
Right.
essence. Like in
Well, that's good.
yeah. So it's helping me like even arrive more so at the aims and ambitions that I wanted to accomplish in life.
Right.
In expanding not only young minds that I get to touch and influence, but also like just the whole population in general.
That's good.
And it also gives me that insight into the community at large, which I
Yeah.
really, really enjoy having. Yeah, these are very unexpected and surprising twists, plot twists in
Right.
our story when we look back on it and say, huh, didn't see that happening, but here we are.
There's no snow here.
No,
No. Oh.
it's kind of over in that corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I've seen so many different weather patterns at the same time in the
Yes.
same city.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fascinating phenomenon.
No kidding. In Calgary,
Yeah.
changes every 5 minutes.
And the course of my work takes me all through it, right?
I'm sure.
Where I see I'm driving from one end to the other and I say, oh,
Do you go from one end of the city to the other, or yeah,
yeah, I'm
north,
all
south,
over, everywhere, yeah.
everywhere? Okay.
Into Okotoks, Airdrie sometimes. Rarely Cochrane, mind you, but no, for one who enjoys seeing a lot of,
Yeah, you get to see the city.
I totally do, and explore it.
Yeah.
And I get to understand what's happening in the city as well too, as I talk to people,
Yeah.
as I learn about events that are going on and options and places to eat and yeah. You mentioned your husband's babysitting.
Yeah, we have a 3-year-old grandson.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just, talks a lot now. Yeah.
That's
Mom and
good.
Dad are having a date night, so it wasn't for him coming to pick me up.
Yeah.
They live in Mahogany, so he from work went there,
Yeah,
and I just thought this was the easiest.
for sure.
And it was. It's very easy.
Yeah. I'm glad you. Well, it's my benefit. My pleasure.
Right, I wouldn't be having this conversation. So there you go.
I'm enjoying your company immensely.
Well, thank you. And I don't like calling on someone to come and get me first.
Yeah.
It's far.
Yeah.
And I'd rather,
Take care of it.
take care of it myself.
Gotcha. Well, I'm the one who benefited today. Thankfully, I'm the one today who benefited.
Thanks.
Whenever I see moms who have very young ones
Yeah.
going, oh, I shouldn't turn here, should I? This is not my turn now. Whenever I see moms who leave their young ones at home
Yeah.
and go for dates, for example, I celebrate them
Yeah.
because it's a big deal for, well,
Yeah.
most moms, I think, are very hands-on, right?
Yeah.
So
They are.
whenever they actually take that time, I'm like, kudos, because that's not easy.
True.
But it's nice to hear that your daughter is doing the same.
Yes. We have periodic date nights, and
Nice. Yeah.
I could get a babysitter. My husband likes to baby. Usually we go together, but
Yeah.
tonight I said just go on your own. It's just easier.
Yeah.
He loves spending time with them, and they play and
Yeah.
they read books.
Yeah.
All of that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So Christmas is just around the corner. Wow.
Yep.
I can't believe how fast it came. It's like, whoa.
Although for years now, I've simplified my Christmas, and I necessarily don't buy into like the hecticness of it. So
Yeah, agreed.
just for my kids,
Yeah.
we get gifts, and
Yeah.
that's about it. And then all the rest, we just take our time enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the way it should be. It's
it's
just, because it's not far away. Tomorrow is American Thanksgiving.
That's right.
That came really fast too. It's like, holy smoke.
Apparently, that's the biggest holiday on their calendar.
Yes, it is huge. It's bigger than Christmas.
Didn't realize
It's
that.
huge.
I was blown away by
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's when they all have turkey, and then for Christmas, I think they have ham
Yeah,
or
that's,
whatever else.
Okay,
But yeah, it's a
okay.
huge thing in the U.S.
So that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow there's
Whew.
football, like I think for the next 3 days or 4 or
Oh my
whatever.
goodness. Much to the pleasure of the football watchers, and oh my. Yeah. Ever since I moved to Canada, I've never really understood the spectator sport dynamic.
Oh.
So I'm usually just kind of sitting on the sidelines thinking,
Yeah.
there's something here, I'm missing it, but yeah, this is significant, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. Look at all the ducks in the pond there.
I know.
It always makes me wonder that they're able to handle such cold.
Yes, they can. We were downtown. You should see the geese.
Same thing there, eh?
Unbelievable.
Huh.
How many of them were gathered, and of course,
Really?
yeah, and ducks. And, yeah.
Now, they're migrating birds, aren't they?
yeah, they usually, but I saw a lot of them,
Yeah.
near the river.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if they're just in the course of their migration still, and
Maybe.
huh?
When down where we were walking down where Princess Island Park is,
Yep.
and they were there, and of course during the summer they cause such a mess.
Yep.
But, yeah,
They
a
do.
mess. But
They do.
there's so many of them. It's like, oh my God.
Huh? It's like a conference of
Yeah,
sorts.
the river was speckled with
Wow.
geese.
Yeah, you're right that they do leave their evidence behind, and they can be also territorial too.
Yes.
And so
yeah. Well, I know ducks are, like, especially swans.
yes.
Oh yeah, one year we had gone to Ontario to visit family.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, she came running after us. Very scared, very scary.
Wow.
Big thing,
Yeah.
flapping and
Yeah.
hissing.
Wow.
Hiss. It's like, it's like, oh God, and we were all running for dear life.
So I was in the park there a few times over the summer doing some video interviews, but I was watching the tourists, especially the immigrant tourists from
Right.
Asia, and I was so nervous for them because I'm not
Feeding them?
they were feeding them,
Ooh,
but
not a good
also
idea.
I know, but they're also
Tells
going
you
in
not to feed 'em.
close, and they were going close, like in close proximity. I was like, oh goodness, especially with their kids, and I was like,
No,
oh,
don't do
this is
that.
not good. I know, yeah. So we know a lot more just because we've had experience or we've seen pictures and videos, but
They just
yeah,
want pictures with them. That's what it is.
perhaps so.
Yeah, no, not a good idea. Because some of them might, like they'll
React,
hiss or
respond, yeah.
they might bite back, which is not good, and you don't know.
They're aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, and you never know. They bite you. They could carry some kind of disease. I hate to say that, but
Yeah. No, I get it. So I was like, oh, my heart as I watch those guys. Oh, yeah.
Well, sometimes that's tourists for you.
True enough. Okay, so I'd rather have geese because we could be like New York and they have rats, right?
Yeah.
That's their. Yeah. Have you ever been to New York?
Yes.
What's it like?
Oh, it's fabulous. Love going there. My husband has 3 cousins that live there.
Oh,
In different areas:
Yeah.
Manhattan, Yonkers, and Yorkton Heights.
okay.
Yeah, we were there last April.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Mm,
Just the theater.
yeah. Oh,
We
which
had-
theater?
yeah, the theater.
Broadway?
Oh my God, the food.
Oh, my.
Just walking the streets of New York. Yeah, it's really, really, really cool. Yeah.
I look forward to my experience one day, especially at the theater.
Yeah.
To see. Oh my.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
That is really, really.
I've heard Toronto is our New York.
Yeah, but I'd rather go to New York to Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that different of a vibing.
Oh yeah, different. Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We stand in Times Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've gone a number of times, we try. It's not a big deal anymore. But,
Mhm.
but just all the billboards, and my husband likes going to Columbus Circle.
Okay.
Yeah. We know it quite well
Yeah.
because, as I said, we've been because of family.
Yeah.
And then just for different reasons.
Getting acquainted over time.
It's just a vibrant city.
That's a good word to use. Vibrant.
Yeah. Pardon?
That's a good word to use
Yeah,
for
it
it.
is
Vibrant.
vibrant.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
besides being a concrete jungle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Would you say it's one of your favorites in the U.S.?
Yes. Yes.
You know what else I want to experience there is the redwood forest in California.
I've done that.
Oh, have you?
Yes, that's cool too.
I've heard that's
Very twisty.
Okay.
I mean, if you suffer motion sickness, not
Yeah.
a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that many, many years ago when I was teaching. I went on a conference.
Yeah.
And I went with another. I think I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. So I'd love to experience that. I've heard it's like a sacred experience for many.
Yeah.
Just
It
quiet
is
and
like it's nothing that you've ever seen before.
yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
intrigue.
Yeah.
So that's one of the places. Definitely, of course, the Grand Canyon.
I haven't seen. It's funny because I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I mean, we've gone across the Golden State Bridge
Yeah.
a number of times.
San Francisco. Yeah.
But I haven't done that.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I see it Vegas is not on my, like,
Yeah.
we've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Not a number, but a
Yeah.
few. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
I have no desire to go there.
Okay.
But
I haven't had any pressing desire either.
Yeah.
I'm more about the views that are just awe-inspiring.
yes,
And
Yeah.
secondly, I'm
Yeah.
also about the culture as well too.
yeah, exactly. Like, okay, New York, London,
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are all phenomenal places.
Europe in general for me, like
Yeah,
just the
exactly.
history that's involved there
Yes.
too. Oh my.
A lot of Europeans that go visit.
Mm,
It's just cool.
agreed.
Yeah.
Hmm. You know, another continent I would love to experience is India.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I'd like to go, and
Yeah.
just even for the food, but it'd have to be a 5-star.
Oh, it's fair. Like that's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah,
fair.
it's got to be 5-star.
Yes.
Staying at the Fairmont in Mumbai. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Whereas,
But I can't convince anybody to come with me. I don't think so. But I don't know. Yeah.
see, for me, I'm more driven by. I grew up in this setting from a young age in Western culture, but
Right.
I really appreciate perspectives that challenge
Oh yeah.
my understanding of how the world is. And I mean, in a place like that,
Oh yeah. No kidding. How many people?
oh, I know. Do you know they've surpassed China now for population? I just found this out like in the last week here. I know. Mind blowing. Yeah. So definitely, I would love to experience that continent. And even the diversity, they say there's so much diversity, even the cultures and the
Yes.
languages from province to province. And even within those provinces, it
Yeah.
breaks down even more.
Mhm.
I'm mesmerized by how such a densely populated place
Yep.
continues to make life happen.
Yep.
Like
They do.
yeah. I would love to learn more.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
Salt.
Definitely, yeah. I'm keeping my distance.
Yes, exactly. Me too. It's like, okay,
I'll give you
especially
a
on
first.
like get your wind.
Oh,
terrible.
Yes, I agree. Nancy, I've really enjoyed your company.
Well, ditto to that. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure
pleasure.
talking to you.
Likewise.
It made the drive home
Commute?
shorter.
Oh.
So thank you so very much.
The pleasure was mine, honestly. See, I've never been in this little community here. This is lovely. It's tucked away.
Yeah, we've lived here. Our daughter grew up here.
Oh,
Been here for
amazing.
over 30 years.
And then she moved to the other side of the city.
Yeah, I know, exactly. She could pick something further.
At least she is in the same city,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
She-
yeah, that is
yes,
true.
yes.
That is true. But I thank you very, very much.
You're
It's
so.
like Grey House up
I
ahead.
see it up ahead there. I'll just
Thank
drive
you.
right onto
Yeah.
the driveway so you don't have to
Yeah.
wade through some snow along the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Until our pathways cross again, Nancy.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Good night.
Same to you, dear.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, friends. Wasn't that a great ride? A fellow teacher. So I saw some questions in the app here, and let me just catch up on some of those so that I can, because I have 5 minutes before my next ride here, so let me respond to some of these here. Hatton, thank you for being here again, brother. I appreciate you being in the chat immensely. Never trust someone with a sick bow tie, says Nemedian. That's funny. Peter asks, why would you leave a full-time job with benefits for Uber? Because this job for me is fantastic. Like I get to impact the world. I get to reach the world in a real way that resonates with me, Peter. And so I've got some ambitions of what I want to do in the context of driving with Uber. So that's why. And were you actually a teacher? Yeah, I was actually a teacher teaching English. I bet you get a lot of tips. You know, people, Peter, are so gracious and generous, but there's also a good service in what that looks like, right? Yeah. Where did your hairline go? Oh, it's still there. It's still there, as you can see. I like the way I look, and I am thrilled. Wow, that's a lot of comments, you guys. I'm wondering if I should just keep this live stream going. What do y'all think? Because there's the bow tie is drippy. What do you teach? English, Gabriel. Working hard today. Hatsune, I am. Yes. Thanks for subbing, guys, to play games. And yeah, I've caught up on everything. So let me go ahead and end this live stream. I'll be back on in 3 minutes, you guys. So come join me again. Bye.